The big room was quiet. Soft lights blinked on the walls. Aliens from all over the galaxy sat around a round table. They were the Galactic Council, the most important group in space. Counselor J1, a tall alien with blue skin, stood up. His 4 eyes looked worried. "Friends," he said, "we have news. Our machines found a strange signal. It's from a part of space we don't know about." The other aliens started to whisper. Some looked scared, others curious. J1 held up his hand to quiet them. "We need to check this out," he said. "It could be a new alien race, or it could be something dangerous. We must be careful." An alien with green scales, named Daesung, spoke up. "What if they're not friendly? We should send our biggest ships." J1 shook his head. "No, Daesung. We don't want to scare them. We'll send a small team to talk to them first." The council agreed. They would send their best diplomat, Ambassador Sungmei. She was smart and good at talking to new aliens. Sungmei got ready for her trip. She was excited but also a bit scared. What would these new aliens be like? Would they want to be friends? She packed her bags and went to the spaceport. There, she met her team. There was Yunho, a scientist who knew a lot about different aliens. Minji was there too. She was good with machines and could fix anything. Their ship was small but fast. It was painted white to show they came in peace. As they got on the ship, Sungmei talked to her team. "Remember," she said, "we don't know anything about these aliens. Be careful and be nice. We want them to like us." The ship's doors closed. The engine started to hum. Slowly, the ship lifted off the ground. It flew up, up, up until the spaceport looked tiny below them. Then, with a flash of light, they were in space. Stars twinkled all around them. Sungmei looked out the window and wondered what they would find. For many days, they flew through space. They passed planets and stars they knew. But soon, they were in new space. No one had been here before. Yunho watched his screens carefully. He was looking for the strange signal. Suddenly, he shouted, "I found it." Everyone ran to look. On the screen, they saw a small planet. It was blue and green, like many planets with life on them. "The signal is coming from there," Yunho said. He pointed to a spot on the planet. Sungmei nodded. "Okay, let's go closer. But be ready to leave fast if we need to." As they got closer to the planet, they saw something that made them all gasp. There was a space station orbiting the planet. It wasn't very big, but it was definitely not natural. "They can travel in space," Minji said. She sounded impressed. "That means they're pretty smart." Sungmei took a deep breath. This was it. They were about to meet a new alien race. "Okay," she said. "Let's say hello." She pushed a button on the control panel. It would send a message to the space station. The message said hello in many languages. It said they came as friends and wanted to talk. For a long time, nothing happened. Sungmei and her team waited. They were nervous. What if the aliens didn't want to talk? What if they were angry? Then, suddenly, their screens lit up. The aliens were answering. Strange symbols appeared on the screen. Then, the symbols changed into words the team could understand. The message said, "Welcome, visitors from the stars. We are the humans of Earth. We've been waiting for this day. Please, come and talk with us." Sungmei and her team looked at each other. They were excited and a little scared. They had done it. They had made first contact with a new alien race. As their ship moved towards the human space station, Sungmei wondered what would happen next. Would these humans be friends? Or would they bring new problems to the galaxy? She didn't know it yet, but this was just the beginning of a big adventure. The humans would surprise them in ways they could never imagine. Sungmei's ship slowly moved towards the human space station. It was small, made of metal, and had solar panels sticking out like wings. The alien team was both excited and nervous. "Look at that design," said Minji, pointing at the station. "It's simple, but it works well." These humans are clever. As they got closer, they saw a door open on the station. A small ship came out. It was probably sent to meet them. Yoon-ho checked his screens. "The human ship is sending us a message," he said. "They're asking us to follow them to their planet." Sung-mai thought for a moment. Was it safe? But they had come this far. "Okay," she said. "Let's go." They followed the human ship down to the planet. As they got closer, they saw blue oceans, green lands, and white clouds. It looked a lot like other planets with life. The human ship led them to a big flat area near some buildings. As they landed, Sung-mai saw many humans standing around, watching them. "Remember," Sung-mai told her team, "be friendly, but be careful. We don't know much about them yet." The door of their ship opened. Sung-mai took a deep breath and stepped out. The air was fresh and cool. She looked around and saw the humans clearly for the first time. They were strange creatures. They stood on two legs and had two arms. Their skin was different colors. Some were light, some were dark, and some were in between. They had hair on top of their heads in many colors too. One human stepped forward. He was wearing a blue uniform with shiny things on it. He smiled and held out his hand. "Welcome to Earth," he said. "I'm Lieutenant Ta-hyun. We're very happy to meet you." Sung-mai didn't know what to do with his hand. She bowed instead. "Thank you, Lieutenant Ta-hyun. I am Ambassador Sung-mai from the Galactic Council. We come in peace." Ta-hyun nodded and dropped his hand. "Please, come with me. We have a place for you to rest, and then we can talk." As they walked, Sung-mai and her team looked around. They saw big buildings, flying machines in the sky, and strange vehicles moving on the ground. The humans had built a lot in a short time. Ta-hyun led them to a big round building. Inside, it was cool and quiet. There were comfortable chairs and tables with food and drinks. "Please, make yourselves at home," Ta-hyun said. "I need to tell my leaders that you're here. I'll be back soon." After Ta-hyun left, Sung-mai turned to her team. "What do you think?" she asked. Yoon-ho looked excited. "They seem friendly," he said. "And look at all they've built. They must be very smart." Min-ji nodded. "Yes, but did you see those flying machines? They looked like they could be used for fighting. We should be careful." Just then, Ta-hyun came back. He looked serious. "Ambassador Sung-mai," he said, "I've told Earth's leaders about you. They're very interested in meeting you. But first, they want to know why you're here." Sung-mai stood up straight. This was important. She had to choose her words carefully. "We are here because we found your signals in space," she said. "The Galactic Council sent us to meet you and welcome you to the galactic community. We want to be friends and share knowledge." Ta-hyun listened carefully. Then he smiled. "That's wonderful news," he said. "We've been hoping to meet aliens for a long time. We have so many questions." But then his smile faded a little. "But I must warn you," he said, "not all humans will be happy about this. Some might be scared or angry. We'll need to be careful how we tell everyone." Sung-mai nodded. She understood. New things could be scary. "We'll work together," she said. "We can find a way to make this good for everyone." Ta-hyun looked relieved. "Thank you for understanding," he said. "Now let me show you more of our world. I think you'll find it very interesting." As they left the building, Sung-mai felt hopeful. The humans seemed nice and smart. Maybe this would be the start of a great friendship. But as they walked, she saw something that made her pause. In the distance, she saw a large building with a fence around it. There were humans in different uniforms going in and out. It looked very serious. "What's that?" she asked Ta-hyun, pointing at the building. Ta-hyun's face changed. He looked a little uncomfortable. "Oh, that," he said. That's just a government building. Nothing important." Sung-mai wasn't sure she believed him, but she didn't say anything. She just made a note to watch carefully. There might be more to these humans than they were showing. A week had passed since Sung Mi and her team arrived on Earth. They had learned a lot about humans, but there was still so much to know. Today was a big day. Earth was sending its own team to meet with the Galactic Council. Sung Mi stood at the spaceport, watching a shiny silver ship land. It was bigger than the small ship she had seen before. The door opened, and out walked a group of humans. At the front was a woman with short black hair. She walked with confidence and had a friendly smile. This was Ambassador Hai Jin, Earth's top diplomat. Hai Jin walked up to Sung Mi and bowed. "Hello, Ambassador Sung Mi. I'm Hai Jin. It's an honor to meet you." Sung Mi bowed back. "The honor is mine, Ambassador Hai Jin. We have much to talk about." They all went into a big meeting room. There were humans and aliens on both sides of a long table. Sung Mi noticed that some of the humans wore uniforms like the one she had seen at that strange building. Hai Jin started the meeting. "We're very excited to join the galactic community," she said. "We have so much to learn from you, but we also have much to offer." Sung Mi nodded. "We're happy to welcome you, but we must talk about some important things first." She took out a map of the galaxy. "We've noticed that humans have been expanding very fast," she said. "You've already settled on several planets in this area." She pointed to a part of the map. Hai Jin looked surprised. "Yes, we've been exploring space for a while now. Is that a problem?" Sung Mi tried to be diplomatic. "It's not exactly a problem, but it's unusual. Most new races take hundreds of years to reach other planets. You've done it in just a few decades." One of the humans in uniform spoke up. "We're quick learners," he said. His voice was a bit sharp. "Is that against some galactic law?" Sung Mi felt the tension in the room grow. "No, it's not against any law," she said quickly. "We're just concerned. Fast growth can lead to conflicts." Hai Jin stepped in. "I understand your concern," she said softly. "But I assure you, we come in peace. We're not looking for conflicts." But Sung Mi had more to say. "There's something else," she said. "We've detected some very powerful energy readings from your planets. They're much stronger than what a young space race should have." The room went quiet. The humans looked at each other. Sung Mi could tell they were nervous. Hai Jin spoke carefully. "We've made some advances in energy technology. It's helped us expand faster. But it's all for peaceful purposes, I assure you." Sung Mi wasn't sure if she believed that, but she didn't want to accuse them of lying. "I see," she said. "Well, we'll need to discuss this more with the Galactic Council." Just then, there was a loud noise outside. Everyone ran to the windows. In the sky, they saw a group of ships flying fast. They were not like the peaceful ships Sung Mi had seen before. These looked dangerous. "What are those?" Sung Mi asked, her voice shaking a little. Hai Jin looked worried. "Those are, well, they're part of our defense force. But I don't know why they're flying now. Excuse me for a moment." She went to talk to one of the uniformed humans. They spoke in low voices, looking serious. Sung Mi felt scared. These humans had hidden so much from them. What else were they not telling? Hai Jin came back, looking even more worried. "I'm sorry," she said, "but we have a problem. One of our outposts is under attack." "Attack?" Sung Mi gasped. "By who?" Hai Jin shook her head. "We don't know yet, but they're not human ships." Sung Mi felt her heart sink. Could it be someone from the Galactic Council? But who? And why? "What will you do?" she asked. Hai Jin stood up straight. "We'll defend our people, of course. I'm sorry, but we'll have to cut this meeting short. We need to deal with this threat." As the humans rushed out of the room, Sung Mi and her team were left alone. They looked at each other, feeling confused and afraid. "What have we gotten ourselves into?" Yunho asked. Sung Mi shook her head. "I don't know," she said, "but I have a feeling things are about to get very complicated." Outside, more ships flew across the sky. Sung Mi watched them, wondering what would happen next. The peace she had hoped for seemed very far away now. The room was full of noise and worry. Humans ran back and forth, talking fast and looking scared. Sung Mi and her team watched, not sure what to do. Suddenly, a big screen on the wall turned on. It showed a planet with a small space station. Around the station, there were many ships. Some were shooting at the station. "That's our outpost on planet X9, said Hai-Jin. She looked very worried. "Those attacking ships, they're not ours." Sung Mi looked closer at the screen. Her heart sank. She knew those ships. "Oh no," she said softly. Hai-Jin turned to her quickly. "You know who they are?" she asked. Sung Mi nodded slowly. "Yes, they're Zarkon ships. The Zarkons are part of the Galactic Council, but they don't always follow the rules." The humans in the room looked angry. One man in a military uniform stepped forward. "Are you saying your council is attacking us?" he asked in a loud voice. No, Sung Mi said quickly. "The Zarkons are acting on their own. The council would never approve of this." Just then, another human ran into the room. "Ambassador Hai-Jin," he shouted. "We've lost contact with the outpost. They need help now." Hai-Jin's face got very serious. She turned to the man in the military uniform. "General Kang, it's time. Send in the Thunderbolt." General Kang nodded and started giving orders into a small device on his wrist. Sung Mi was confused. "The Thunderbolt? What's that?" Hai-Jin looked at Sung Mi with a mix of pride and worry. "It's our newest and best warship. We didn't want to tell you about it yet, but now we have no choice." On the big screen, a new dot appeared. It was moving very fast towards the planet. As it got closer, Sung Mi could see it was a ship, but it was like no ship she had ever seen before. The Thunderbolt was huge, much bigger than the Zarkon ships. It was long and sleek, with big engines at the back. The front looked sharp, like the tip of a spear. As the Thunderbolt got closer to the fight, Sung Mi could see words written on its side in human language. A human nearer said the words out loud. "UES Thunderbolt." The room went quiet as everyone watched the screen. The Thunderbolt moved smoothly between the Zarkon ships and the human outpost. It was so big that it blocked the Zarkon's shots. Then bright lights appeared all over the Thunderbolt. Sung Mi realized they were weapons, more than she could count. The Thunderbolt started shooting back at the Zarkon ships. The Zarkon ships tried to fight, but they were no match for the Thunderbolt. Some of them exploded. Others turned and ran away. In just a few minutes, the fight was over. The human outpost was safe. The Thunderbolt had won easily. Sung Mi and her team were shocked. They had never seen a ship so powerful. Even the biggest Galactic Council ships weren't this strong. Hai-Jin turned to Sung Mi. She looked both proud and a little embarrassed. "Now you see why we've been able to expand so quickly," she said. "We built the Thunderbolt to protect ourselves. We didn't know what we might find out here in space." Sung Mi nodded slowly, still staring at the screen. I understand," she said, "but this changes everything. The Council will be very worried when they hear about this." General Kang spoke up. "Let them worry," he said. "We won't let anyone push us around." Hai-Jin gave him a sharp look. "We don't want trouble," she said to Sung Mi. "We just want to be safe. Can you help us explain this to the Council?" Sung Mi thought for a moment. This was a big problem. The humans were much stronger than anyone thought. Some people in the Council would be scared. Others might be angry. But as she looked around the room, she saw that the humans were scared too. They had built this big ship because they were afraid of what they might find in space. "I'll try," Sung Mi said finally. "But it won't be easy. The Council will have many questions." Hai-Jin nodded. "Thank you," she said. "We're ready to answer their questions. We want peace, not war." As they talked, the Thunderbolt on the screen moved closer to the human outpost. It looked like a giant protector next to the small station. Sung Mi watched it and wondered, Was this the start of a new friendship between humans and aliens, or was it the beginning of something much more dangerous? Only time would tell. The big room was quiet now. Everyone was watching the screen. The UES Thunderbolt, the human warship, was coming back from its fight with the Zarkons. Sungmi couldn't take her eyes off the ship. It was so big, so powerful. She had never seen anything like it. Ambassador Sungmi, said Haijin softly, would you like to see the Thunderbolt up close? Sungmi looked at Haijin in surprise. Is that allowed? She asked. Haijin nodded. Yes, we want you to understand us better. Maybe then you can help explain to your council. Soon, Sungmi and her team were in a small ship, flying towards the Thunderbolt. As they got closer, Sungmi felt very small. The human warship was bigger than some moons she had seen. They landed in a big room inside the Thunderbolt. Many humans in uniforms were working there. They all stopped to look at the aliens. A tall human with a serious face walked up to them. He had many shiny things on his uniform. Welcome aboard the UES Thunderbolt, he said. I'm Captain Jeho. Sungmi bowed to him. Thank you for having us, Captain, she said. Your ship is impressive. Captain Jeho nodded. Thank you. Let me show you around. As they walked through the ship, Sungmi and her team saw many amazing things. There were rooms full of blinking lights and screens. There were big guns that could shoot very far. There were even small ships inside the big ship. How many people are on this ship? Yunho asked. We have a crew of 5,000, Captain Jeho said. But the ship can run with just 1,000 if needed. Minji's eyes were wide. 5,000. That's like a small city. They came to a big room with a lot of windows. From here, they could see all around the ship. This is the bridge, Captain Jeho said. We control everything from here. Sungmi looked out the windows. She could see the planet below and the stars all around. It was beautiful, but it also made her feel very small. Captain, she said slowly, why did humans build such a big warship? Are you planning to fight someone? Captain Jeho shook his head. No, Ambassador. We built the Thunderbolt to protect ourselves. We didn't know what we would find in space. We hoped for friends, but we had to be ready for enemies too. Sungmi thought about this. It made sense, but it was still scary. How many ships like this do you have? She asked. Captain Jeho was quiet for a moment. Then he said, the Thunderbolt is our first, but we're building more. This news made Sungmi feel worried. One ship like this was already very powerful. What if humans had many? Just then, there was a loud noise. Red lights started flashing. Captain, shouted a human at a screen. We're getting a message from the Zarkons. They're coming back. Captain Jeho's face got very serious. He turned to Sungmi. I'm sorry, but you need to leave now. It's not safe here. As Sungmi and her team were taken back to their small ship, they could see the Zarkon ships coming. There were more of them now, maybe 50 or 60. Their small ship flew quickly back to Earth. From there, they watched on the big screen as the Zarkons attacked the Thunderbolt. But the Thunderbolt was ready. It moved fast for such a big ship. Its guns fired, hitting the Zarkon ships easily. Some Zarkon ships exploded. Others tried to run away. The fight was over quickly. The Thunderbolt had won again, and it didn't even look damaged. Sungmi turned to Haijin, who was watching with a mix of pride and sadness. Your ship, it's so powerful, Sungmi said. The Galactic Council has never seen anything like this. They will be very afraid when they find out. Haijin nodded. I know, she said, but what can we do? We can't pretend we don't have this power. And we won't give it up. It's kept us safe. Sungmi understood, but she was still worried. This will change everything, she said. The balance of power in the galaxy will be different now. As they talked, the Thunderbolt came back into view on the screen. It looked strong and proud. Sungmi knew that nothing would be the same after this. Humans were not just some new, weak race. They were a power to be reckoned with. The galaxy was about to change, and Sungmai wasn't sure if it was ready. The room was quiet. Everyone was watching the big screen. The UES Thunderbolt was coming back to Earth after beating the Zarkons again. Sungmi turned to Haijin. "What will you do now?" she asked. Haijin looked tired. "We need to talk to the Zarkons," she said. "We don't want more fighting." Just then, Captain Jaiho's face appeared on the screen. He looked serious. "Ambassador Haijin," he said, "the Zarkons are asking to talk. They say they're sorry and want to stop fighting." Haijin nodded. "Good. Let's hear what they have to say." The screen changed. Now they could see a Zarkon. He looked scared. "Humans," he said, "we are sorry for attacking you. We didn't know you were so strong. Please don't hurt us anymore." Haijin spoke calmly. "We don't want to hurt anyone," she said. "We just want peace. Can you promise not to attack us again?" The Zarkon nodded quickly. "Yes, yes. We promise. We'll tell everyone how strong you are. No one will bother you again." After the talk, the screen went dark. The room was quiet again. Sungmei looked at Haijin. "That was surprising," she said. "The Zarkons don't usually say sorry." Haijin smiled a little. "They've never met humans before," she said. Just then, General Kang walked up. He looked happy. "This is great," he said. "Now everyone will know not to mess with humans." But Haijin didn't look happy. "It's not that simple," she said. "Yes, we're safe for now. But what about later? What if other aliens get scared and try to fight us?" Sungli nodded. She was thinking the same thing. "The Galactic Council will have many questions," she said. "They might think you want to take over the galaxy." Haijin looked shocked. "But we don't," she said. "We just want to explore and make friends." "I know," said Sungmei. "But the Council doesn't know humans like I do now. They might not believe you." General Kang spoke up again. "Then we'll show them how strong we are," he said. "They'll have to believe us then." Haijin shook her head. "No, that would just scare them more," she said. "We need to show them we're friendly." As they talked, Sungmei had an idea. "What if," she said slowly, "what if you invited the Council to visit Earth? Let them see for themselves that humans are peaceful." Haijin's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea," she said. "We can show them our cities, our art, our music. They'll see we're not just about big ships and guns." General Kang didn't look happy. "But what if they try to attack us?" he asked. "They won't," said Sungmei. "The Council believes in peace. They'll come to talk, not fight." Haijin nodded. "And if they see the Thunderbolt, they'll know fighting would be a bad idea anyway," she said. They all agreed this was a good plan. Haijin asked Sungmi to send a message to the Council, inviting them to Earth. As Sungmi wrote the message, she thought about everything that had happened. She had come to meet a new alien race. Instead, she found a powerful new friend for the galaxy. She looked out the window. The Thunderbolt was landing nearby. It was big and strong, but Sungmai wasn't scared of it anymore. She knew the humans who built it. They were good people who wanted peace. Sungmai finished the message and sent it to the Council. Now they just had to wait for an answer. "What do you think they'll say?" Haijin asked. Sungmi smiled. "I think they'll be very curious," she said. "Humans are full of surprises. The Council will want to see for themselves." As they waited, Sungmi felt hopeful. Yes, humans were strong. But they were also kind and clever. Maybe they were just what the galaxy needed. The future was still unclear. But Sungmei was sure of one thing. Life in the galaxy would never be the same again. And maybe, just maybe, it would be better. A month had passed since Sungmei sent the message to the Galactic Council. Now, the day had finally come. The Council was arriving on Earth. Sungmei stood with Haijin and other human leaders at a big spaceport. They watched as a large, shiny ship landed. It was the Council's official ship. "Are you nervous?" Sungmei asked Haijin. Haijin nodded. "A little," she said. "But I'm excited too. This is a big day for Earth." The ship's door opened. Out came aliens of all shapes and sizes. They were the leaders of the Galactic Council. At the front was Counselor J1, looking both curious and worried. Haijin stepped forward and bowed. "Welcome to Earth," she said. "We're honored to have you here." J1 bowed back. "Thank you for inviting us," he said. "We have much to discuss." They all went to a big meeting room. The walls were covered with pictures of Earth and its people. There were also small Earth foods for everyone to try. J1 looked around, then spoke. "Ambassador Haijin," he said, "we've heard many things about humans. Some say you're peaceful explorers. Others say you're dangerous warriors. Which is true?" Haijin smiled. "Why can't we be both?" she asked. "We love to explore and learn, but we also protect ourselves and our friends." Another council member spoke up. "But your ships are so powerful," he said. "The Zarkans say one human ship beat their whole fleet." "That's true," said Haijin. "But we didn't start that fight. We only defended ourselves." Sungmei stepped in. "I've seen how humans live," she said to the council. "They're not war lovers. They make art, music, and try to help each other. Yes, they're strong, but they use that strength wisely." The council members looked at each other. Some nodded, others still looked unsure. J1 spoke again. "We believe you want peace," he said, "but your power is scary. How do we know you won't try to take over the galaxy one day?" Haijin thought for a moment. Then she had an idea. "What if," she said, "humans joined the Galactic Council?" Everyone in the room was surprised. Even Sungmei hadn't expected this. "Join the council?" J1 asked. "But you're so new to space travel." "Yes," said Haijin, "but we have fresh ideas. And if we're part of the council, everyone will see we want to work together, not fight." The council members talked among themselves. Sungmei could see they were interested. Finally, J1 turned back to Haijin. "It's an interesting idea," he said, "but there would be conditions. We'd need to learn more about your technology. And you'd have to follow council rules." Haijin nodded. "We understand. We're ready to learn from you too. And we'll follow the rules, as long as we can still protect ourselves if needed." More talk followed. Sometimes it got hard, and people disagreed. But slowly, they started to find ways to work together. As the day went on, Sungmei watched the humans and aliens talk. She saw fear turn into curiosity, and then into friendship. At the end of the day, J1 stood up. "We've made a decision," he said. "We will start the process for Earth to join the Galactic Council." The room filled with happy sounds. Humans and aliens were smiling and shaking hands, or tentacles or wings. Haijin turned to Sungmei, her eyes shining. "We did it," she said. "This is the start of something big." Sungmei nodded. "Yes," she said. "The galaxy will never be the same, but I think it will be better." As they left the meeting room, Sungmei looked out a window. She could see the Thunderbolt in the distance. It still looked powerful, but now it didn't seem scary. Instead, it looked like a symbol of a new age. Humans had surprised the galaxy with their strength, but now they were surprising it with their wisdom and kindness too. Sungmei smiled to herself. The future was bright and full of new possibilities. Humans and aliens working together. Who knew what amazing things they might do? One thing was sure. Life in the galaxy was about to get very interesting.